The digital display inside a command center in Washington, America, flickers as the series of precision strikes light up the reader. In this very high-stakes moment, the Secretary of Defense Hegseth monitors reports of a leadership structure in Tehran that is actually quickly and rapidly losing its grip.
They're confused, and we know it. Our response: we will keep pressing, we will keep pushing, keep advancing, no quarter, no mercy for our enemies. Yet some in this crew, in the press, just can't stop. Allow me to make a few suggestions. People look up at the TV and they see banners, they see headlines. I used to be in that business, and I know that everything is written intentionally. For example, a banner or a headline: Mideast war intensifies, splashing on the screen the last couple of days, alongside visuals of civilian or energy targets that Iran has hit, because that's what they do. What should the banner read instead? How about Iran increasingly desperate? Because they are. They know it, and so do you, if it can be admitted. Or more fake news from CNN. Reports that the Trump administration underestimated the Iran war's impact on the Strait of Hormuz. Patently ridiculous, of course. For decades, Iran has threatened shipping in the Strait of Hormuz. This is always what they do: hold the strait hostage. CNN doesn't think we thought of that. It's a fundamentally unserious report. The sooner David Ellison takes over that network, his leadership is in no better shape. Desperate and hiding, they've gone underground, cowering. That's what rats do. We know the new so-called not-so-supreme leader is wounded and likely disfigured. He put out a statement yesterday, a weak one, actually, but there was no voice and there was no video. It was a written statement. He called for unity. Apparently killing tens of thousands of protesters is his kind of unity. Iran has plenty of cameras and plenty of voice recorders. Why a written statement? I think you know why. His father, dead. He's scared, he's injured, he's on the run, and he lacks legitimacy. It's a mess for them. Who's in charge? Iran may not even know. With every passing hour, we know, and we know they know, that the military capabilities of their evil regime are crumbling.
Whilst the world watches the flashes of regional tension on their screens, they actually see what looks like a standard security operation. The mainstream view is that this is actually a temporary flare-up. However, the hidden reality is actually a total systematic transition. The leadership is actually currently operating through written statements only, as the new central figure remains isolated and, of course, wounded. I'm actually referring to the new elected leader of Iran. This political shift is not just about local control. It connects directly to your daily life and my daily life. Of course, a total collapse in this political region threatens the stability of global energy prices. So if the flow of resources stops here, ladies and gentlemen, the cost of heating your home or fueling your car could actually double overnight. The chaos in Tehran or in Iran, ladies and gentlemen, is actually the spark that could actually rewrite the global economy by the end of the week. Now, precious family, to understand why these strikes actually was not happening now, we must actually look at the choke points of the world or globe. The Strait of Hormuz is actually a narrow strip of water where 20% of the world's petroleum passes every single day. Of course, for decades, great powers like US or America and of course China have actually moved their pieces around this particular specific geography or place. Mountains and of course sea lanes have actually forced this standoff. Whilst the public focuses on the leaders, ladies and gentlemen, massive or great global banking institutions and of course energy corporations are the invisible players watching the probation period of this particular new regional administration. The strategic importance of the strait means that whoever controls the narrative of safety in these waters control the global market. Media places are now under fire for how they actually report these events, ladies and gentlemen, with Secretary Hegseth highlighting a divide between official intelligence, and of course public reporting. This is actually a battle for the truth as much as it is actually a battle for the sea. Now, following the events of February 17, 2026 and the subsequent security operations in March, the regional military capabilities are actually facing a significant downturn. The human toll is actually reflected in the numbers. Protests continue to grow as the internal economy faces a massive mess. This regional instability creates a ripple effect. Listen, just mind. For a person in a major city like New York or Accra, Ghana, this means a shift or change in the supply chain that could actually lead to a 5% to 10% hike in the price of imported goods or commodities. On the global board, the blocks, are actually moving. The United States of America is actually asserting its influence to ensure the Strait remains opened, whilst rival was not blocks or communities are actually calculating the cost of a total leadership change in Tehran or Iran. Secretary Hegseth has actually openly challenged major news networks. I mean, they are underestimating the efficiency of the current US strategy. The standoff is no longer just about the military or hardware. It is actually about which side can actually maintain its authority over the global narrative. The most likely outcome is actually a period of managed instability where a new weakened, or let's say that feeble leadership in Tehran must actually negotiate to survive. Currently, the US bloc holds the winner's card. Let me actually say it that because it actually controls the maritime security of the most important trade route on earth. As the regime's military capabilities continue to actually face pressure, the focus will actually shift to who will actually manage and administer the transition of power. The world is actually entering a new era of geopolitical engineering where the lines between media reporting and of course military operations are actually blurred. We are actually watching the data whilst the world is actually distracted by the headlines. Ladies and gentlemen, the global power shift is actually happening in real time, and of course its effects will actually hit the mainstream market sooner than expected. Subscribe, ladies and gentlemen, to join this record family so that we can actually together analyze daily stories like this with important people like you. Don't forget to actually turn on the notification bell importantly so that you can actually access subsequent future uploads on this broadcast channel. Let me see you in the next video.